Greetings, welcome to 3 Lanes number 29. 29. Crazy, we made it this far. But this time around, we'll be talking about, we'll be focusing again on watches, and this time it will be about Cartier. Um, Specifically the watch division. I know Cartier is known for um, jewelry also, but I will be focusing just on the watch section of Cartier. And yeah, I would like to give it a twist with putting in practice the stuff that I learned in my MBA courses. So some of the economics, finance stuff, I would like to add it in, sprinkling sprinkling some of that stuff here and there. But let's get to it. Origins and historical development. Cartier's journey into watchmaking began in the early 20th century, building on the company's foundation as a jeweler established by Louis-François Cartier in Paris in 1847. The pivotal moment for Cartier's watch business came in 1904 when Louis Cartier, grandson of the founder, created the first wristwatch specifically designed for his friend Alberto Santos Dumont, a Brazilian aviation pioneer who complained about the impracticality of pocket watches while flying. This revolutionary timepiece, known as the Santos, feature a distinctive square bezel and flat design, marking what many consider the birth of the modern men's wristwatch. The brand's watchmaking heritage expanded significantly with the introduction of the iconic tank, uh, which was created in 1917, inspired by the profile of the Renault FT-17 tanks from World War One. This design innovation established Cartier as a serious player in the luxury watch market, combining functional timekeeping with the distinctive aesthetic appeal that would become the brand's hallmark. The duration of watch business activity. Cartier has been actively manufacturing watches for 121 years as of this year, 2025, with continuous production since 1904. The brand's watchmaking division has evolved from a small boutique operation to a major component of the Swiss luxury watch industry. Today, Cartier watches are manufactured in Switzerland under the ownership of Richemont Group, which acquired the brand in 1988. The manufacturing takes place primarily at the facility at La Chaux-de-Fonds in Switzerland, where the development of each new watch ranges from 1 to 2 years depending on complexity. Market position and performance. Current market standing. Cartier has achieved remarkable success in the luxury watch market. Recently, they overtook Omega to become the second largest Swiss watch brand by revenue after Rolex. In 2023, Cartier generated or manufacturer, sorry, Cartier generated 3.1 billion Swiss francs in watch sales compared to Omega's declining performance. This represents a significant achievement as Cartier dethroned Omega for the first time in years, with the brand experiencing a 40% year-over-year increase from 2020 to 2021. Financial performance under Richemont. Richemont's jewelry maison division, meaning the house of jewelry of Richemont. That's basically what it means. It's just in French to make it sound fancy. Which includes Cartier, has demonstrated robust financial performance with sales of 4.9 billion euros and an operating margin of approximately 32% in the fiscal year ending March 2025. However, the specialist watchmaker division faced challenges with the sales declining 13% annually to 3.3 billion euros, primarily due to weakness in the Chinese market. The Chinese market is a huge market for all these luxury brands, and it's been hit quite hard. So everybody's kind of struggling because there's not as many purchases as before in the Chinese market. There's rumors that I've heard, rumors that a lot of the focus is being switched to the US, but I'm not completely sure. Competitive advantages and disadvantages. Advantages: design heritage and brand recognition. Cartier's primary competitive advantage lies in its distinctive design language and the historical significance of the brand. The brand's iconic collections, including the Santos, the Tank, the Panthère, uh, offer immediately recognizable aesthetics that differentiate this brand Cartier from traditional round sports watches. This design heritage allows Cartier to command premium pricing, and it also appeals to customers seeking the unique jewelry-inspired timepieces. So it has its own design language, which is very beneficial. It's very cool when some brands stick to their design language. That's why a lot of people flipped when Bremont switched their old designs to these new designs that you're seeing. Honestly, and this is a hot take, by the way, I like those Bremont watches. The new ones, I like them quite a bit. They're not bad. Their previous design language, it was not for me. It was not bad, but it was not for me. Hot take. End of my hot take here. Thanks. Luxury positioning. Unlike pure sports watch manufacturers, Cartier successfully bridges the gap between jewelry and horology, attracting customers who value both the craftsmanship and style. The brand's association with royalty and celebrities dating back to King Edward VII uh, gives a Cartier designation as the jeweler of kings and the king of jewelers. It provides unmatched prestige. Market diversification. Cartier's strong performance in jewelry helps offset watch market volatility, providing financial stability to the company or to the branch of Richmond, right? However you want to take it, that pure watchmakers lack. The brand's global retail network of over 270 boutiques ensures strong distribution coverage. Disadvantages: movement technology gap. Cartier faces criticism regarding movement quality compared to specialized watchmakers. Many Cartier watches use movement sourced from other manufacturers within the Richmond group, such as Piaget, rather than developing proprietary calibers. And we see this, I think, throughout this big conglomerates like Richmond, the Swatch Group, uh, LVMH. This creates a perception that customers are not buying Cartier for the movement, but rather for the design and brand prestige. But honestly, this is something that I've argued before. A lot of times, and I go back to the GMT design. Now, everybody has a GMT. Everybody has an interpretation of how, or it's more like an artistic interpretation of how this function can be presented in a better way. Everybody tries to always be like more efficient, more like cooler way, or different colors that haven't been used before. A lot of people just go back to the same Rolex Explorer 2 aesthetics with the white dial, orange hands, and all that stuff, right? So you see a lot of small brands going for the same color wave, but the aesthetic of the watch is significantly different. Production cost structure. Industry estimates suggest that luxury watches typically cost 5 to 15% of retail price to manufacture, meaning a $20,000 Cartier watch may cost approximately $2,000 to $3,000 to produce. Uh, Again, a couple of words that I would like to highlight here. It's industry estimates, right? So this is estimation. This is not absolutely true. At the same time, yes, what are we taking into consideration that the cost to produce is that accounting overhead, indirect costs that you're putting there, indirect labor, like the people that clean the factory, all those things that you have to spend on as a brand, right? One thing is, okay, it might cost that to make one single piece, but you have to keep the lights on. Uh, you have to pay the supply chain, all that stuff. So I don't know what's this in this estimate. So this is just something that I've sourced here, but yeah, it is interesting because there's no a black and white answer, right? It's there's always a gray area in those estimates. Every company might be different, and the way they do accounting might be different. So the way they're putting in or the things that they're adding to those costs might change. However, Cartier's focus on precious metals and jewelry grade finishing potentially increases production costs compared to steel sports watches. Marketing positioning challenges. While Cartier excels in design, it faces intense competition from both traditional Swiss watchmakers and modern luxury sports watch brands. The brand must balance its jewelry heritage with horological credibility, sometimes limiting its appeal to serious watch collectors. Financial challenges and economic hurdles. Manufacturing economics. Cartier's watch production faces several economic pressures. The luxury watch manufacturing process is highly labor intensive, with each timepiece requiring approximately 20 steps for hand production and 2 years of development time. That is crazy. You think that each watch would cost 2,000, 3,000 bucks if it's a $20,000 watch? I don't know. The brand's commitment to using precious metals and Swiss manufacturing creates inherent cost pressures, particularly with gold pieces reaching record highs above uh, $3,200 per ounce. We're talking about gold, right? We're not talking about the watches. Market volatility and regional challenges. The brand has encountered significant headwinds in key markets, particularly China, where luxury watch sales have declined dramatically. Richmond reported a 23% drop in Chinese sales and a 27% decline across Asia Pacific, excluding Japan, by the way. This regional weakness particularly impacts the watch division, as Chinese consumers have historically been major purchasers of luxury timepieces. So watches sell in China, not anymore, but that's why everybody's struggling. Currency and tariff pressures. Swiss franc strength and new U.S. import tariffs have created additional cost pressures. Starting in 2025, a 10% U.S. import tariff on Swiss goods combined with currency fluctuations has forced Swiss watch brands, including those in Richmond's portfolio, to implement price increases. Not just we've seen that across everybody. I think Rolex has done it, Omega has done it, not just Richmond. Historical business challenges. Cartier's watchmaking division has faced strategic missteps, particularly with the collection Privé, Cartier Paris, the CPCP, yeah, series from 1998 to 2008, and the Fine Watchmaking Collection from 2008 to 2018. Despite extremely high quality and finishing, the Fine Watchmaking Collection became, some people call it, an example of a disaster in the trend of pretentious hot horology. I'm not gonna say it. Failing to resonate with target customers and ultimately discontinued. This is something from Quill and Pad, by the way, if you're interested. Supply chain and sustainability costs. Modern regulatory requirements have added compliance costs, with Cartier investing in responsible sourcing initiatives and supply chain transparency measures. The company must ensure its gold, diamonds, and precious metals, these supply chains, for them to meet modern slavery prevention standards, adding operational complexity and costs. Strategic positioning in the watch world. Core strategy framework. Cartier's watch strategy centers on three pillars: design differentiation, luxury positioning, and brand heritage. Unlike competitors who focus primarily on technical specifications or sports functionality, Cartier emphasizes in aesthetic innovation and emotional connection. This approach targets customers who view watches as jewelry and status symbols rather than purely functional instruments. That's kind of debatable. There's guys in the watch group that really like these. These guys are, they like, their watches. And uh, there's one of the guys he's a chef, and he uses Cartier for like everything, man. He's I don't know. There's that's his work watch. Just put it that way. And he's a chef. Product strategy and innovation. The brand employs a dual track approach, maintaining classic collections while introducing limited editions and technical innovations. Recent launches like the Tank uh, Aguichet, I think that's how you say it, limited to 200 pieces, demonstrates Cartier's strategy of creating exclusivity through scarcity. So this is something that we spoke about before. Sometimes they just want to make a limited amount of units just to to know that everything's going to be sold, and to know that that's for sure income, instead of risking having more than what they will probably would buy. So this is creating exclusivity through scarcity rather than technical complexity. This approach generates higher margins and secondary market appreciation because there's not many, right, to be resold, as evidenced by the Cartier crash achieved auction prices exceeding $1.5 million. Market positioning versus competitors. Cartier deliberately positions itself differently from sports watch specialists like Rolex or technical manufacturers like Patek Philippe. While Rolex focuses on robustness and precision, and Omega emphasizes pace and sports heritage, Cartier emphasizes design, elegance, and jeweler craftsmanship. This positioning allows Cartier to avoid direct price competition while commanding premium pricing for design and brand value. So technically, what it's telling you is that the brand can differentiate itself quite a bit from the other few top of the Swiss manufacturers by having their own design and trying to be more elegant. It's rare that the Cartier watch that's round. That's one of the main things that you can find with Cartier. Digital and service strategy evolution. In response to market challenges, Cartier has invested heavily in service enhancement and digital transformation. The Cartier Care program offers extended warranties up to 8 years, buyback programs, and loaner watches, transforming post-sale service into a profit center. This strategy addresses the industry trend toward fewer new sales by maximizing value from the existing customers. So instead of trying to get new people all the time to buy your stuff, you have a close community with the people that already own your product. Future strategic outlook. Cartier's strategy focuses on sustainable growth through brand elevation rather than volume expansion. The brand continues investing in manufacturing capability, sustainability initiatives, and digital customer engagement while maintaining exclusivity through limited production. Not as limited as, let's say, Rolex or the other big ones, but or like Journe, for example, but which is not a very big one compared to Rolex, but there are brands that are more exclusive. Let's put it that way. The problem, not problem, but the difference with Cartier is like, yeah, they might make fewer pieces, but they make enough that the economies of scale put them at the same price point as Omega and Rolex, right? So the price bracket is similar. With the luxury watch market valued at 39 billion and growing, Cartier's positioning as the leading design-focused luxury watch brand provides a strong foundation for continued market share gains. The brand's success in overtaking Omega shows the effectiveness of this strategy, particularly in attracting younger luxury consumers who value distinctive design over traditional horological complications. Cartier's challenge in the future might be maintaining their momentum while navigating this macroeconomic pressure, um, evolving the consumer's preferences might present another challenge in some key markets, but so far, I think Cartier is doing a good job, and we'll see. We'll see how far they get. We'll see if they diversify in shapes or if they keep everything mostly square. But we'll. I think I'm intrigued by the brand. By the way, it's a really good brand. I've only heard good things about it. Hopefully, they keep going the way they have. Um, yeah, I hope you learned something about Cartier today. This has been the Three Lanes podcast number 20. What did I say? 29. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.